Applying intelligence and critical thinking when reviewing history, a message for Black men seeking growth, clarity, and godly purpose. As Black men in America, we carry a lineage marked with both suffering and strength. Our history is layered with injustice, resilience, endurance, brilliance, and divine purpose. And while understanding that history is essential, how we interpret it is even more critical. Because if you don't review history with intelligence, spiritual clarity, and critical thinking, you risk falling into bitterness, anger, hatred, emotional instability, spiritual blindness, cycles of self-sabotage. And those things, if left unchecked, do nothing but destroy you from the inside out. This message is not about ignoring evil. It's about protecting your heart, maintaining your clarity, and stepping fully into the purpose God has assigned to your life. Let's break this down. Understanding history requires intelligence, not emotional reaction. History is painful. History is uncomfortable. History is full of wickedness done by people who allow darkness to rule their hearts. But history must be studied with intellectual maturity, emotional stability, spiritual discernment, critical thinking. Without these, a man becomes reactive, fragile, easily manipulated, controlled by feelings instead of truth, angry without direction. A man like that can't be led anywhere except into his purpose. Darkness has no skin color. Evil is a spiritual condition. We must be clear. Evil does not belong to a race. Wickedness does not have a complexion. Oppression is not tied to melanin. Evil is a spiritual condition rooted in ignorance, darkness, fear, rebellion against God. People do evil not because they are white, black, or any other race, but because their hearts are disconnected from the light. If you start seeing evil as skin deep instead of sin deep, let me repeat that. I said, if you start seeing evil as skin deep instead of sin deep, you lose spiritual clarity and fall into deception. Bitterness stunts growth. Anger without wisdom destroys kings. Every Black man must hear this. Bitterness is a cage. Uncontrolled anger is poison. Holding hate in your heart makes you implode. You think the bitterness is protecting you now, but it's actually blocking opportunities, clouding your judgment, killing joy, attracting more pain, destroying relationships, sabotaging your finances, weakening your mental health, making you distrust everyone, limiting your potential, stunting your growth. A man full of bitterness can't lead. He can't love. He can't build. He can't see clearly. He can't even hear from God properly. Hate doesn't make you stronger. It makes you spiritually blind. Reviewing history through the lens of God brings clarity, not confusion. When you see history through God's eyes, everything shifts. You realize God preserved us, God strengthened us, God elevated us, God brought us through, God put purpose in our DNA. We were never meant to live as victims of history. We were meant to rise as victors in destiny. Studying history without the Holy Spirit leads to rage, hopelessness, confusion, division, despair. But studying history with God produces understanding, strategy, wisdom, healing, identity, purpose, growth. God gives context, God gives meaning, God gives direction. Purpose is not limited by history, it is empowered by it. We must remember it doesn't take a lifetime to fulfill purpose. God can elevate a man in one moment, one decision, one opportunity, one divine connection. Purpose is not limited by past trauma, generational pain, racism, oppression, obstacles, your upbringing, your mistakes. Purpose comes from God alone. And nothing, absolutely nothing can stop what God has ordained for a man who is aligned with him. History is the classroom, purpose is the assignment, destiny is the result. Evil can attempt to delay you, but it cannot deny you. Evil has always tried to silence black voices, to break black bodies, to destroy black families, to erase black brilliance. Yet here we are, still rising, still building, still thriving, still creating, still living in God's image. Why? Because purpose is stronger than oppression. Because destiny is stronger than darkness. Because God is stronger than evil. Faith overrides every attempt of wickedness to hinder your life. Learn from the past, but live for your purpose. History is a teacher, not a poison. Pain is a lesson, not an identity. Anger is a signal, not a lifestyle. As a black man, we honor our ancestors by thinking clearly, seeing spiritually, building wisely, living in purpose, rejecting hate, mastering our emotions, growing in wisdom, staying aligned with God. When you study the past with intelligence and spiritual clarity, you don't become bitter, you become powerful. Your history informs you, but your purpose transforms you, and God completes you. Blessings and strength. Cornell Gilliams here from CLG Lifestyle. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if this is the place that you